Tyson didn't hesitate to deliver a chilling warning to Jake Paul ahead of their highly anticipated November clash after Jake Paul secured a mind-blowing victory against Mike Perry. 26-year-old Jake Paul secured a decisive victory over former UFC star Mike Perry with a 6th-round knockout on Saturday. Perry, a 32-year-old bare-knuckle fighting champion, proved a formidable opponent, testing Paul's resolve in an exhausting contest. However, Paul's relentless assault came to an end in a knockout combination in the 6th round, following knockdowns in the 1st and 2nd rounds. "He's tough as nails," Paul said in praise of Perry. "I'm sorry it took so long. Respect to Mike Perry, I just hit too hard. He took a lot of damage." He added, "I kind of expected that. I put him down in the 1st round, but he survived it." He criticized who claimed Perry would win the fight, where all those MMA experts said Mike Perry was gonna end me. Perry also praised Paul's decisive victory. He said, "I was trying to roll with the punches and hit your ass back. You did a great job. You were way too fast for me and I couldn't adjust to it. I tried, but the kid hit hard." Paul claimed that during the fight, he struggled with his hand issue, but he managed to do the work. He stated, "I just didn't feel very good tonight. I was sick leading up to this. My knuckle is messed up. My knuckle was basically broken before the fight. I'm a warrior. I fight through anything." After a 6-round beatdown on bare knuckle fighting championships Mike Perry, Paul didn't waste any time promoting his next fight and called out Alex Pereira, who is coming off a brutal knockout victory against Jiri Prochazka at UFC 303. Paul stated, "Alex Pereira, you said that you want to box. I'm the king of this. I'm the king of this. Come over. We can make it happen. I want you, Alex Pereira." Pereira just turned 37, and we know Paul's affinity for fighting older MMA guys. However, Poatan is on top of his game. He's on a 4-fight winning streak, with his last loss coming in April 2023 against Israel Adesanya. He's a former UFC middleweight champion and the reigning UFC light heavyweight champion. Alex Pereira has shared his reaction to Jake Paul's call-out. It seems that Pereira gave his nod to fight Paul in a potential boxing match. The Brazilian resorted to social media to share their conversation. He captioned the post, "Let's go, Chamo." Alex Pereira, who also reigned at middleweight, is unlikely to be released by UFC CEO Dana White, having recently signed a new 8-year contract with the promotion. But O'Malley did offer Paul a glimmer of hope in his efforts to take on the formidable champion. He stated, "Obviously he's fighting Mike Tyson in November, but he called out Alex Pereira. That fight won't happen unless Dana says, I'm sick of seeing Jake beat all these UFC guys. I'm giving it," he added. But imagine Alex Pereira versus Jake Paul. Alex has crazy power in both hands, but the dude literally throws from his hips like he's there to be hit. That was a big thing about Mike Perry. He was there to be hit. His chin was floating. He was off balance. His chin was just kind of there to be hit. Speaking at the post-fight presser, Paul detailed exactly why he wanted to fight Poatan next. Paul stated, "At the end of the day, will Dana White let him out? That's too big of a risk if I can embarrass his #1 praised fighter right now, but I want all the smoke. I want all the MMA guys. I've beaten all of them, and who's next? He's the king right now of the UFC. I want him. I want to decapitate him and dethrone him." As a matter of fact, Alex Pereira too showed reasonable inclination towards fighting Jake Paul. Unfortunately, Dana White has never been a fan of Jake Paul's cross-promotion matches. Thus, the possibility of this dream matchup happening anytime soon is bleak. Meanwhile, the boxing community shared their thoughts about Paul's victory. Rampage Jackson wrote on Twitter, "Jake Paul out here looking like a French maid." Kamaru Usman said, "OMG, let's fight already. SMH 20 minutes walkouts." Derek Brunson wrote, "Mike Perry out here acting a fool." Aljamain Sterling said, "Respect to Jake Paul for embracing combat sports and winning, but we need one for the MMA guys. Great scrap so far, can't count Perry out, and Jake boxing very well." Turkey Alalshik wrote, "This is not boxing." Dustin Jacoby said, "I promise on everything I love I would beat Jake Paul in a boxing match. Respect to Mike Perry, but he wouldn't stand a chance with me." Demetrius Johnson said, "Something is wrong with Perry leg. He is limping during the fight and back to the corner." Josh Thompson wrote, "How long are we going to pretend that Jake Paul is beating people his size or his age? The one person he fought his size and age, he lost to." Jason Mayhem Miller said, "Well, Jake Paul just bullied another smaller guy in lieu of fighting a senior citizen, so God bless America, I guess." Adrian Yanez wrote, "Somebody call Ngannou, lol. We can't let this keep happening, LMAO. Paul's jab was super on point tonight." Conor McGregor wrote, "Jake Paul is the biggest I have ever seen in my life. 40-pound weight difference, juiced out of his head, and still shitting himself in there. Nikisa, you should take him to Vegas. Oh, that's right, you could never. The athletic commission testing, real fighting. You could never. And then calling out 60-year-old Mike Tyson fresh off an in-flight medical emergency? I swear to God, a fat can of most valuable. During the post-fight press conference, Paul responded to McGregor's tweet saying, "Conor's on Twitter. He's on his yacht, but guess where he's not? In the ring fighting me. The notorious MMA is scared of Jake Paul from Disney Channel." Conor McGregor was not satisfied with Perry losing to Paul. McGregor came on X and wrote, "Hey Mike, you're released and you can go and compete in your smelly dirty boxing championship thing. The smell of it, good luck. You're fired." Following Paul's impressive performance, he was questioned about McGregor's decision to fire Perry. Paul was amused by the news and said, "Hey, they fired him. Perry, your BKFC champion. I told you that was gonna happen. I told you exactly what was gonna happen. He was big upping his boy Mike Perry." I said, "Okay, Conor, after I Mike Perry, then you're next." However, Mike Perry replied to McGregor's claims. During the post-fight press conference, Mike said he doesn't have a promotion because me and him are both owners of the BKFC, so he can't fire me. We can fight in bare knuckle. Look at me. I lost to Jake Paul. Why don't you go fight Jake Paul and box him with gloves on? I think it would be worse than McGregor versus Mayweather. Former UFC middleweight champion Michael Bisping thinks the fight should have never happened. He accused Paul of cherry-picking opponents, fighting smaller athletes. He said, "Coming into this fight, I think myself, the whole fight community, everyone was behind Mike Perry, but the reality was he was too small. There are weight classes in boxing, in combat sports for a reason. Jake Paul was about twice the size of him. The weight difference is going to be insane." He added, "Well done, Jake Paul, if that's what you want to see." That was a farce. That was ridiculous. That fight should have never even taken place in the first place because it was a show. Bisping isn't a fan of Paul. He's even considered coming out of retirement to take matters into his own hands against the problem child. According to Bisping, Paul cherry picks his opponents. Jake Paul grinds my gears. Let's be honest, he does because of all the talk of how great that he thinks that he is. Bisping said, "He cherry picks these opponents that are way smaller and less experienced." Tyron Woodley thinks that Perry's lack of defense is a major factor which led to him losing the fight. He said that it's hard to stand in the ring when you get hit too much, and that was actually what Perry got into.
No, it was exactly what I mean, it wasn't exactly what I thought, but if Jake was going to win, that's the way he was going to win. And if Mike was going to win, he was going to slip, cut off the ring, and actually get inside off of Jake's jab. He didn't get a chance to do that. I think the jab is like a leg kick. Once they start coming and once you start getting hit with it, it's hard to defend it after you got hit a couple times. And that was a story from Mike Perry tonight.
Meanwhile, Paul's next fight is expected to be on November 15th in Dallas. Paul is eagerly waiting for the long-awaited Netflix showdown against legendary Mike Tyson that could finally be happening. "Mike, I love you, but this is my sport now," Paul said. "You're a legend. You're one of the two most famous boxers to ever live, you and Muhammad Ali. It's an honor to get in the ring with you. I'm so honored. You're a legend." He added, "But I'm going to take your throne, brother." Calling out 58-year-old Tyson is not going to get Paul any closer to his goal of becoming a world champion, but it will make him a lot of money. However, Tyson already sent him a brutal warning ahead of their bout. Mike Tyson came on X and wrote, "Countdown begins, 118 days, 16 weeks and 6 days, 17 weekends, 2,832 hours, 169,920 minutes. 10,195,200 seconds. Clock starts now. Demetrius Johnson has been adamant about one thing, and it is that he does not want the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight to happen. He recently opened up about the greatly anticipated fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, which has been recently rescheduled to November 15th and showed concerns about the heavyweight boxing champion's health. Assessing all the circumstances, Demetrius Johnson declared on his YouTube channel, "I think he's gonna knock out Mike Tyson. The reason why is because I think Jake Paul has a chin. He is going to be able to withstand any shot that Mike Tyson could throw at him." Demetrius Johnson wants Netflix to pull the plug on this fight. He had previously analyzed Jake Paul's and Mike Tyson's fights individually on his YouTube channel. During one such video, he dissected one of the fights by the legend, and it was about Tyson fighting against Roy Jones Jr. The former UFC champ noted that the hardest thing for Tyson would be to not get caught with one of Paul's moves when he did his forward attack. The baddest man on the planet Bennett attempted to get into the void created by the bigger swings and maneuvers. This made Jones miss his hits, and Tyson played aggressively. However, this time, not only is Tyson 58, but Jake Paul has a counter for this move. Paul is good at uppercuts, according to DJ, and Tyson could get caught in one of those jabs while trying to close the gap. He added, and Jake Paul does have that uppercut that he hit Homeboy with, that he can probably hit Mike Tyson with as well, because Mike Tyson does duck his head to get into the void and get across it. UFC champion Sean O'Malley believes Mike Tyson will be knocked out by Jake Paul after the YouTuber stopped Mike Perry. A few of those knockdowns were pretty brutal. God damn, that was sweet. O'Malley said on his YouTube channel, Jake looks like he's improving every single fight. I'm pretty excited for the Mike Tyson fight. I feel like it might look similar to that. I mean, Mike Tyson is almost 60. Jake's 30 years younger. I feel like it might look similar to that. Thus, with the legendary boxer hyping the matchup, all eyes will be on November to see what pans out. Will Jake Paul be able to continue his slugfest, or will Mike Tyson prove who the real king of boxing is? Share your thoughts in the comments section, and don't forget to subscribe if you liked the video.